Hey everybody, this is Dave Cooper, and yeah, we are back at the project in Washington, D.C. at the MMC's first set, and believe it or not, this is also the first set in Washington, D.C. of a multi-family modular unit. So we have a bunch of firsts getting ready to happen today, right? So listen, if you're joining right now, we had a little technical issues with some of the cellular wireless service, but hit that like and share button, please, on LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook. And also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. So, with that said, when I say there's a lot of firsts, I am standing with Sam Takriti next to me, who is the new COO of Volumetric Building Companies, right? And also part of the whole MMC coalition moving forward. So, Sam, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So, Sam, I ask everybody the first time I meet them when we're interviewing to tell us everything from the moment you were born till now in 5 minutes, you know, and you can elaborate a little bit.
Well, again, thanks for having me. My name is Sam Takriti. I have over 20 years of experience in the design and construction industry. The majority of that has been primarily around commercial modular construction. As well, I have been involved in traditional construction from an architectural and project management standpoint. But my primary experience within the modular business has revolved around concrete, steel, and wood structures. And it was primarily with a company called ModSpace, where we delivered across North America a variety of project applications and project types. Within my tenure there, my core responsibility revolved around design and engineering, construction project management. I oversaw manufacturing, asset management, supply chain, and sourcing, as well as product development. It was a very exciting opportunity. It allowed me to have a lot of exposure to the commercial modular industry and learn a lot, and I hope to bring a lot of that to the volumetric building companies. Aside from modular construction, I was also a healthcare architect in the Chicagoland area, focusing primarily on designing and engineering hospital facilities. And from there, I moved into traditional design build as in the project management arena, essentially focusing on educational and institutional type projects. Also had some involvement in commercial real estate development with vertically integrated organizations. And again, the combination of that experience I hope to bring to VBC, which I'm very excited to join. A very dynamic organization with very exciting opportunities, coupled with a very unique sense of creativity, ingenuity, and innovation. And it's really setting a new standard within the modular industry that I hope to be part of.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that is a resume, right? I mean, honestly, that was a great resume. And I have to tell you, I've been hearing a lot about you over the last, week or 2 weeks or so. And I'm so happy that we're using this platform to kind of introduce you to the community and what's going on, and having you part of the MMC and Volumetric family. I think this is going to be a really good thing for them, because you're not new to the industry. You're just new to Volumetric and the MMC, and I think that's super, super powerful. So, listen, everybody, we have Sam on right now. I want to set the stage right now, and Sam, why don't you help me set the stage? Where are we standing at this very moment?
We are standing on top of a modular building that is obviously being set in the center of Washington, D.C. We are in...
looks like probably like a living
bedroom.
Yeah.
Bedroom. And we look outside, we will see very soon another modular unit being set. So this is really exciting to look at all the activity around us here.
It really is exciting. So we are here for a reason. We are on the top modules of this building. You will see shortly at this door over to the right, and David, just hold tight where you're at. Another module is going to actually get set down right next to us, and that way everybody can see it. But also we'll be able to show you what's happening with all the MEPs and everything that go into these units, because we haven't had the opportunity to do this just yet. So, Sam, I really do appreciate it. I wish you all the best with Volumetric Building Companies and the Modular Mobilization Coalition, and I look forward to having more interviews with you.
Same here. I appreciate it. Thank you, David.
You're welcome. All right, where's that Vaughn Buckley guy at?
There you go.
I'm in the bathroom.
He's in the bathroom. Imagine that. Vaughn's in the bathroom. So, Vaughn, what's happening?
Everything at the same time.
I know.
Typical VBC, MMC fashion. We're doing it all at once, but
you really are.
Things are great.
Yeah. So, all right, let's talk about this a little bit, right? You guys have started a massive organization here of a coalition of people that have come together, right? You're one of the founding people of the Modular Mobilization Coalition.
Right.
You're the president of Volumetric Building Companies.
Correct.
Why don't you walk us through how this whole project came to fruition?
Yeah, sure. So VBC, as you know, specializes in multifamily modular construction. This particular client came to us almost 2 years ago looking for design assistance and support. And at the time that the project became ready for construction, VBC was full, an experience that every manufacturer has had at one point. They've been working with a client for a long time, and they don't have availability to build it. So what do we do? Well, we had at that point been the founding member of the MMC and had this amazing network behind us. So we were able to refer this project to the MMC, and in less than 90 days from that, here we are setting on a foundation in Washington, D.C., a project that if we were to have retained that, probably wouldn't be here for another year.
Right.
So, we're able to do great things for the clients that get referred to MMC, and we're able to do great things for the member factories and affiliates that are looking for that product at the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about this construction. Then we're going to drive into a little bit more of the member benefits of being part of this. But modular construction, volumetric, whatever we want to call it, let's talk about in a situation of where we are right now, urban infill, how valuable is this type of construction from your eyes?
Yeah, well, for us it started in Philadelphia. We found urban infill to be one of the most challenging uses of modular construction that existed. As a matter of fact, it was almost impossible to find a factory that would provide modules for us in the city, and it was even tougher to set them. At that point, we were doing 1 and 2 unit townhome developments. This is 10 years ago, in random locations on extremely tight streets in Philadelphia. We have 13 different government agencies that can make a set day go wrong in Philadelphia. That's state, local, federal, and trust me, they're all out there. And whether it's accidental or a scheduled conflict, anything can happen. From a gas company cutting a trench in a street, or a fire hydrant being too close to the corner you needed for that trailer length. So urban infill was a very challenging option for modular.
Sure.
And by sort of cutting our teeth, and some of the other factories that are in our coalition have done the same on some of these really tough properties geographically and topographically, we were able to sort of advance the industry. So now our member factories and VBC combined have put very large buildings in Philadelphia. It has changed the landscape of modular construction really across the East Coast. And now we're able to penetrate a market like Washington, D.C. that up until now no one's been able to figure out. There's complicated traffic issues, which we'll see when we go out here. And we're on a very tight postage stamp sized lot on a corner with 3 streets. So yeah, it's challenging, but that's where modular and the successes that all the members in the coalition have had really come to fruition on a site like this.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get in. So that's a very good point, right? The disruption that's happened, a lot of business in the modular volumetric space right now. Manufacturers are building capacity, and this was part of the whole idea of the Modular Mobilization Coalition, bringing these factories together, right? Where do you see the industry heading right now? You're on the front lines, you're sitting at the top of the ladder. Talk us through what's happening in our industry right now and from your viewpoint.
Sure. So there's several real factors that are affecting the industry, and primarily they revolve around standard market dynamics, supply, demand, right? So we've got a ton of people that want product. We've got a ton of government agencies and other folks around the country that really want to build using offsite construction. The industry doesn't have enough individual or shared capacity. So we're dealing with, a large hotel chain or an investor that needs multiple units in multiple cities. It's extremely difficult for them to find a single source provider.
Right.
And any one of our affiliates in the MMC might be perfectly capable and willing to build a product type, but unable to support all of the needs of any particular organization. And that's been something that's plagued our industry's adoption for really the past decade. You've got very large companies such as Marriott and others that are believe in the method and want to use it, but have no real mechanism to get the product that they need at the scale that they need it. And that's where the industry is going. And to get there, we need to commoditize and standardize. We need to commoditize the way that we're handling the transactions and the product, and we need to standardize the details in how product is getting built so that a client can be comfortable they're going to get a consistent module from factory A or factory C, East Coast, West Coast, doesn't matter. We all build the same thing, and right now that doesn't happen.
Right. So now we're jumping into the benefits of the MMC, right? This is the benefit to the consumer, the developer, and to the manufacturers within the coalition. And that is one of the things, you just hit the nail on the head, I hate to use the pun, that, standardization of the product and customization of how we're building these products collectively as a whole, so we can have a larger share of the market with Marriott hotels, with larger developers, where they can feel they can come and get a consistent product over and over and over again because their standards are high.
Exactly. And so when we're talking about the other benefits, we've got two ways to look at it. You've got the benefits to the clients, and you've got the benefits to the member factories.
That's right.
So the affiliates that are in the MMC get the benefit of relatively consistent detailing and standardized supply chain, and the opportunity to get really repetitive projects, which if you're in the multifamily manufacturing business, that the number of module types that is in a building is really important to the success. We've had some jobs that have had as many as 60 different module types in a building. We've had other jobs of the same size that have had 5. So that standardization is really important for the factory efficiency, which in turn lends itself to client efficiency and cost, because factories can build it for less.
Yeah, I love it. So I don't want to stop you there. I think is the module coming up? I'm starting to get some waves in the background. Can you see anything back there?
Yeah, they're going to be producing the next module up here for us.
Go ahead and
shortly.
show what's coming up there real quick. I'll push that door shut for you.
The team that's leaving the roof here now, and then the module will come up, but it's probably a few minutes away yet.
Yeah. All right, so let's get back, David. Just keep your eye out for that module that's coming up, and when it gets closer to where we can see it dropping here, we'll come back to that. So let's continue with this conversation with Vaughn and keep going here. All right, Vaughn. So I got all of my notes here.
Great.
We've been live feeding all day. So let's get back into the member benefits, right? We talked about the consumer benefits.
Right.
What is truly going to be? Say, hey man, Vaughn, I have my own factory. Why should I join what you guys have put together in the coalition and the MMC?
Well, it depends on what your needs are. And whatever they are, the MMC has a benefit for you. If you have no capacity at all and you've got business for years, fantastic. Join the MMC for the benefits of national supply agreements and supply chain opportunities, which we're working on with a number of national manufacturers, where we can start to see huge savings in distribution and cost for individual plants.
Yeah.
Then consider us for design standardization and detailing, where we can help support your future pipeline with product type that is easy to build and, more importantly, easy to finish when it gets to the field. It's a two-part equation for a successful modular project. How efficient is it to manufacture? How efficient is it to finish? And a lot of the times, we're missing one end or the other.
Yeah.
And so a big part of the MMC's design expectations is that we produce buildings that are easy to design, easy to manufacture, and then easy to finish.
Right. All right, so there's a lot to unpack there. I think what you said about the supply chain and the purchasing power that comes out of being part of a coalition with suppliers and getting the benefits of that, so we can be more competitive to some of the bigger developers that are out there that have that direct purchase, is a huge benefit for any manufacturer, because it makes them so much more competitive. Was that accurate to say that?
It is, and to your point, we talked about the two different reasons or the two different needs you have. That's the need if you have business for years and you don't need anything. But the other alternative is that you want business, that you're looking to grow your supply and you're looking to have larger clients with a more consistent product base. In that case, join the MMC for the business opportunities. Right now, we have about $850 million in leads that are active within the pipeline from a number of national and local developers.
Say that number again.
850 million.
$850 million
is our current number of qualified leads with people that are moving towards design contracts, expectations, and want to get this product in the marketplace.
That is a ton of leads. So we got a ton of people here. All right, everybody, listen. We are on our live streaming gear. I don't know what story we're on. What story are we on? 6th? 5th?
We are. There's a one-story podium, and we're on the 4th floor of modules. So
yeah, we are high flying, and hey, you can see the Capitol building over there. By the way, we were wondering if that would be possible. Straight out there.
Straight out there.
All right, everybody. So listen, we're not taking questions on YouTube and Facebook because we don't have the ability to do it, but we are taking questions and comments on LinkedIn. So if you're on YouTube and Facebook watching this right now, head over to LinkedIn and join us. So with that said, let's all right.
Wow, all right, that's
yeah,
quite the
yeah.
scroll you've got there.
All right, so Miles Biggs, excited for some more behind-the-scenes content and interviews. Thank you, Miles. Reese Kane, fantastic showcase for the modular industry. Nice work. Do you know Reese?
Yes, absolutely.
We have that coming up.
We have a module coming.
All right, well, let's focus on that a little bit. David, just stay right back there where you're at, as long as you can see it coming down or coming up. It is coming up. So some of the other things, David, I don't know what's in the screen right now, but people, you can really start seeing how the MEPs and how the electrical and everything is already run in these modules. Is that part of their view at the moment, Dave? Perfect. So as you're watching this, not only can you see that, but you can see the through-bolt threads coming up through, which is tying everything down to the podium on the first level, which we showed you before we started this set. And I think that's super, super huge. Vaughn, let's talk about having the ability to have this much work, the MEPs and all this stuff in place right off the bat. We're only into the second day.
Yeah, so currently we're at day 2. As you see, we've got drywall, we have appliances and everything else installed in the building, and all the MEPs are in. So really what that means for cities like DC, Philly, and really any other city in the country right now is that we really get to support you on the skills shortage basis. If you're having trouble getting trades, whether that's MEP or even rough framing, modular can help us get to a much more complete level much, much quicker.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, everybody, you should start seeing in your screen right now that the module is coming up the side of the building. We're seeing it overhead. There's a little bit of a delay, but what you're seeing is part of the kitchen that's in this module. Even the microwave is hung above the stove, so as everybody's watching this, you can see what's happening. You can see that the installation's already in place. Yes, some of it falls, but these guys will fix all of that during the process and when they start lowering it. But overall, I mean, look at these things. They're built like tanks, I always say.
Yes, sir. There aren't many houses designed to take the kind of road transport that these things undergo, nor lifting with a crane. So.
Well, that's right. That's right. And if you can see in the background, we're up here pretty high. So we'll let this play out. Let's watch it all come together. I don't think people get this view very often. I love it. If anybody has any more questions, put them out there. In fact, why don't I do that? Let's run through who's saying hi and what we got. All right, we got Andrew Seeley. Here we go. Team Cooper trending toward 24 hours of offsite programming. Oh, my, I don't know about that. All right, here we go. Joe Hutchins. That's a nice curved header to the opening behind you. He's talking the sheetrock work. Well, here.
Yeah, so let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Go ahead, Vaughn.
So the sheetrock is cut like this so that when the units are placed, that there isn't significant cracking. As you can imagine, the intersection of the side studs to the overall header is going to cause some tension there, and there'll be some movement. So typically that drywall will crack. If you're looking at this particular one, because this drywall has been cut on a curved angle like this, we don't get the cracking that you would typically see. There, on this side, you'll see this is actually an access panel, so that's why that's got a crack there. But that's a big part of the quality in the field connections.
Well, it really is, and this is years of experience to come up with solutions while we're transporting and shipping. Because where you have your jack studs and your headers on any building, that's always the weakest link, right? And we don't want it to turn and wreck. Love it. All right, so we got Henry Mickelberg. Henry's in from France. 60 different types, ? Them's rookie numbers. I've seen 94 different types on a 174 model scheme.
Wow, that's rough. Yeah, that 60 was on 120, so Henry's got us beat.
Yeah. Well, if you don't know Henry, you should. Henry does a lot of stuff. So, all right, we got June Suter joining us. You know that person, June Suter? Ever hear of her?
With her.
Hey, June, thank you so much for everything. And we have Brandon Cooper, not your design drafter. Okay, also volumetric. That's cool. So, we do have a little bit of delay in everything we're doing. Check it out, Vaughn. Look how tight that's coming down.
Yeah.
Right next to us. We're stuck in here now. That's it.
Yeah, very cool.
So what do we have here? Insulation already in place, so when it's at that bottom band joist meets the top plate of the floor below.
So what you're looking at here isn't actually insulation, even though that's what it physically is. It's fire stopping. So this is in there as a fire stop barrier between the floors. So it's horizontal fire stopping, but it is fiberglass insulation. That's what the material is, but it's not used for insulation.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. All right, so where we're at right now is we're coming about halfway down the door, and that opening that you see where that cable is running through is our access back to the real world here in just a few moments. Let's see what else we have for questions. All right, everybody, if you got more questions, put it out there. Brandon says, has the MMC had anyone approach it regarding a modular solution for rebuilding in the areas destroyed by fire?
Yeah, I think that the MMC was originally founded as a disaster response mechanism. The entire desire behind creating the MMC was support for the COVID issues. So not only are we well structured to provide that support, but our members are ready and able. Out of the few dozen factories that we have that are members, we have probably 60 to 70% of those are primarily used to building single-family homes. So rebuilding on a large scale is totally possible.
Yeah, right. Well, you know what? I mean, that's a really good point. We're going to touch on it again today. I mean, it's all over the news, what's happening out west, you know, with these fires, and I mean, it's just devastating. In fact, we're feeling it here now with all the smokes over top of the whole United States now.
Right.
I mean, and it's causing a big impact. So, and while we're looking at this, let's talk about that a little bit, because this is another advantage of modular construction, volumetric construction. It minimizes the carbon footprint. Right? It's a healthier built home. There's no mold. There's no, we don't have the same issues as site-built projects.
Correct. Yeah, and I think a lot of the value from our products from a quality perspective revolve around the fact that our materials are never exposed to weather.
Yeah.
And even today, we're expected to have rain later today. Not a problem for us. This is the roof module. It'll be installed. The roof will be seamed, and the outside will be protected before we leave for the day.
Right. Well, and luckily enough, we had this other great guy on earlier, Rob. I don't know if you know him. You're
familiar with him, yeah.
Vice President of Construction. But yeah, he kind of walked us through, right? I mean, we already have the EPDM on the roof. It's folded back, so we have protection that way, and then we're also ready, in a moment's notice if we get some weather to cover everything up. So we're 10 steps ahead.
Absolutely.
I keep saying we're like I'm part of the team here. I feel like it. Anyhow. All right, so where are we at on this? So they're going to start lining that up. Let me get back to some more of these questions here. All right. All right, so here's my question. This project in particular, all right, made its way to the MMC through VBC, right? Is that?
Yeah, VBC. Mm-hmm.
All right,
VBC had the project, and we referred it to the MMC because we were unable to build it at the time. We didn't have capacity available, an issue that a lot of our affiliates are feeling.
Right. Sure. All right, we got the coalition pulled together. How is this going to change our industry moving forward nationwide here?
Well, I think that when we look at a total industry, right now we have approximately 120 factories around the country. When you consider the size of the MMC in relation to that, we're coming up on a quarter of the modular plants in the country as being members of the MMC already. So when you talk about an industry and its ability to respond, and you consider the size of each of the players that are in their niche market segments, I don't really think there is anybody that can respond at the level that we can. And we're seeing that throughout the country, where even some of our affiliates are receiving project referrals that they say, we can't build 4,000 modules.
Right.
How are we going to handle that over the next 5 years? Let's work together to do it. So whether it's some of the extended stay hotel chains, which are doing so well right now, even though the rest of the hospitality industry is not, or it's student housing, where they're wanting to get away from communal dorms and have more single occupancy, or it's cities that are looking for homeless response and recovery housing. The market is ripe for support on a scale like the MMC can offer.
Yeah, I 100% agree on that. So let's move a little deeper into this. You said a quarter almost of all the modular manufacturers are part of this coalition almost. That's a big number when you talk about it nationally, right?
We're about 5 factories away from being a quarter of the market.
Right.
And yeah, so when you consider that and you compare and contrast to site built, for example, we're talking about who can respond to the need for design, engineering, manufacturing, and construction in a single package.
Right.
And the answer is a lot of people can respond to that in the site-built world. There's major companies that have built their entire business model around that. Turner's, Walsh, other developers that are also doing construction like Lend-Lease, Skanska. You know, these are all companies that can respond on a very large scale quickly. And that's why most of the institutional developers and people that need a national footprint are comfortable with those companies because they can respond.
Right.
So at some point, this isn't about on-site versus off-site. This is about how can we meet the needs of the client. And so in a case like the MMC, we aren't competing with on-site builders. The on-site builders will have just as much work based on the volume increase that we're going to provide them that they would have had without it. And the way that we look at it in the affordable housing market, for example, sometimes there's challenges from cities saying, well, it takes work away from our local residents. Has been an objection that some heavily organized cities have put up. And when you really consider that and you think through, well, our options here are to have affordable housing or not to have housing. And in some cases, those cities have to make that choice. Do we want to build housing locally for $400,000 a unit? Or do we want to build off-site for, in some cases, half of that? We're seeing numbers as drastic as that. So what does that mean? Well, it means that we can build twice as many units. So those local residents are going to have more work. But in addition, we're going to support residents in other areas as well. And in states like Pennsylvania, I just want to point out how important that is, because cities like Philadelphia and Pittsburgh now have the opportunity to support in-state manufacturing for their own residents. And I think that's a really big key.
Got it. Love it. So David, let's focus on what they're doing here. They're going to drop this down here a little bit. Vaughn, why don't you walk us through what's going on right there?
Sure. So I'm going to avoid the word drop, just because we're setting stuff and we don't like that.
Yeah.
But yes, we are setting this module right now. It's getting lowered down onto the unit below, and once they confirm that it's level, square, and plumb, the cables will be removed.
Got it. There it is. It's down.
So they'll check it. If they find it meets their quality standards, they will relax the cables. We'll move rooms so that we aren't in here while the cable pulls out, and we'll keep.
I love it. So I mean, there you have it, everybody. You can see that's a beautiful view to the outside for the next module, right? We're gonna have one more right there and keep working our way across.
I didn't even notice the memorial we can see over there as well.
I know, it is great. All right, let's look at some other comments here. Look at this. We got Sarah here. All right, so we have Sarah and Logan. Let's say hi to Sarah. Hi, Sarah. Thanks for joining us. All right. Brandon says it's a cool shot. Mark Belis, Vaughn, can you talk about MMC multifamily capabilities on the West Coast?
Yeah, sure. We can definitely do that. So right now we have opportunities and factories all over the country. We have them on the West Coast too. We're looking at stuff in California, in Washington, in Oregon. We have multiple plants in California and plants in the Pacific Northwest, as well as South Central. So absolutely no issue to support multifamily modular housing on the West Coast. Although we have probably 60% of our members are in the Northeast. But that's rapidly changing. I love it. All right, let's get Nicole Emilio says, good afternoon. Not sure who Nicole is, but thank you for joining us. Sam Bailey, great work, team. I love it. I know I skipped some here, so I gotta take a scroll through. Andrew Seeley's all over it, man. He loves what you guys are doing. I love it. All right, cool. So what you were seeing there, hey, David, if you could point over to the door there. We're already at how many minutes have we been doing this, Vaughn? 35 minutes. All right. It's going super strong. So right now what they're doing is taking the tension off the cable and getting ready to pull that out. Is that accurate? That is accurate. That means they're happy with how it's setting. So would we like to maybe see the bathroom and have a walk through this? Yeah, why don't we show the bathroom, and then I think we can, let's walk. Maybe we could walk out here and just give them a quick view, because there's still going to be a little bit of time. All right, here comes David. All right. Let us know when you're going to pull those cables. Okay. So, all right, Vaughn, what are we looking at here? We're in the living room module. Right. Right now we're in the living room. This is a 3-module apartment, so we have another bedroom and bathroom coming in over here. Bedroom and bathroom behind us, so we're in a 2-bed, 2-bath module. As you can see, obviously, pretty sweet view in both directions. And right now we're on a 5-pointed intersection. I don't know if you've been able to see that.
Oh, we showed it.
But yeah, crazy amount of traffic and support around here. Love for us to have a look at the bathroom.
Yeah.
And see kind of the finished product.
Go ahead. There's enough room for you. Why don't you show this bathroom with Vaughn? Vaughn, talk your way through.
So what we're looking at in this unit, you've got tile that was installed in the factory, and really, I mean, obviously everything here was installed in the factory. So
yeah.
if you're talking about how complete the bathroom is, there's really nothing left to do in here except install final mechanicals,
right.
and patch some drywall. So overall, super finished unit.
It is super finished. I mean, we got the tile. We showed some of this with Rob. We got the linen cabinet's already installed. The tile under this floor is even installed. So,
it is, yeah.
And this is one of the benefits. Even the toilet paper holders and stuff are installed. And I know it's kind of tight to get in here. I love it. I mean, it's amazing how much of the job is done. I mean, on this unit alone, just this whole building, it's probably 70-80% of the entire job is done, to include MEPs. And I know you guys can't see it there, to include sprinkler systems.
Yes. Yep.
Right?
All of that.
So we got all of our fire rating stuff in, and we have our sprinkler system in, ready to go.
Yeah. So this job has the opportunity to be shortened by 6+ months.
Yeah. I love it. Well, let's walk back out here, give people the view, Vaughn, and let's finish off on anything you wanna say before we end our stream.
We're super happy to be here. We're obviously really proud of our member factories and our affiliates and what they're putting out in their own right. And the MMC is going to amplify that. We're not taking anything away from our member or affiliate factories. Yep. In reality, we're here to add support to them, to help get our industry the representation in the market that it deserves. And we're just thrilled to have the opportunity to do that. I love it. Andreas Egger from Charlotte, North Carolina. Good afternoon. Thank you. Nicole Amelia just tagging some folks to check this out. So we got a lot of people tuning in. I mean, right now, and I know mine's behind, we're probably in the 30 to 40 at any given time during this whole feed. So great. Big thumbs up to everybody. So, all right, Vaughn, we're going to get some more modules set here. I really appreciate you taking the time to come on the show today. I appreciate you taking the time to talk about everything. Pleasure. I mean, what else are we going to do here? How about an elbow bump, man? One of those. You are rocking it. You're one of my favorite people to watch. I'm really appreciative to have you in this industry that I love so much. Awesome. And watching where you've come from and where you're headed, it's absolutely amazing. And I can't say thank you enough for the industry. So, with that said, I'm Dave Cooper. This is a live stream from Washington, D.C. We are live on location, first modular set, as well as the first modular set in Washington, D.C. for a multi-family unit, and it was all done by the Modular Mobilization Coalition and VBC. I'm Dave Cooper, Vaughn Buckley. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.